Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dice Camera Action, our last show of 2018. Woo! Nate is traveling. Anna is off for the holidays, but we have two gracious guest stars with us tonight.
We got two people who aren't doing anything.
Two people, nothing better to do. James and James. To distinguish you, Joey, you're now Joey. And
great.
That's great because that's what most people call you.
Just the way I like it.
Yeah. Previously in Dice Camera Action, the Waffle Crew and the C Team were borne away to a distant town called Nightstone, where they got a taste of the blood war between devils and demons. All of this precipitated by a age-old conflict between two planar families, of which Strix and Diath were members.
Oh, we're starting with this? Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Strix was rescued from members of the Skizix Khazram, and to keep the multiverse from ending, accepted Rosie Beestinger's offer to join the Beestinger family. In so doing, setting the multiverse aright. Diath provided comfort to Strix in this moment, realizing that they could now be friends without triggering an apocalyptic war. Perhaps even more than friends. All right. On the asteroid city known as the Rock of Brawl, two GIF, one Sergeant Ernest Paca and one Corporal Rufus Durham, make their way through crowded, dirty streets to the middle city, where there is a tavern, fairly well upkept, with a seating area outside known as the Golden Helm. And there they have a rendezvous with their commanding officer, Major Argus Crux. And when they arrive, they see him sitting outside, for though this establishment is a large two-story rambling affair, its doorways are far too small to accommodate the typical GIF girth and height. And so the Major enjoys a private table off on one corner where he can watch passers-by and the gleaming starry night that is perpetual in the smog-filled skies of Brawl. On the distant horizon, you can see the great moon Selune shimmering silver beneath you. And as you approach, you notice that there is not only the Major, who is far too big to sit in one of the dainty little chairs that the Golden Helm has to offer, so he brought with him his personal ottoman, plopped down on there, having a bounteous feast, table piled high with food, and right now he's cracking into some sort of purple lobster-like creature. And while this is going on, his adjutant, a private, is standing off to the side, solemnly, hands tucked behind his back, watching the crowds warily. And you can see this private is wearing a hippo helm over his head. And when you come up to the Major, he says, "Ah, thunder, lightning, right on time."
Pip, pip, Major. Pleasure to see you.
Yes, yes. Good to see you, sir.
Yes, well, I'll get right to it.
I hate this.
You can see he sucks something out of a lobster claw and throws it down on the table, and then dabs his lips with a handkerchief and sets that down neatly beside him and says, "I was very impressed recently with your battle prowess and decorum in the Battle of the Garden War. So, I'm entrusting you with a most delicate mission to protect one hegemon Beestinger as he makes his way worldside."
Now, Major, is that a name that we've heard somewhere before? Have we any dealings with this Beestinger man?
He says, "You don't know this, but some sinister race is exterminating halfling worlds across the crystal spheres."
Zoons.
Indeed.
Phlogistons.
The bee stingers have done the best that they can here, made names for themselves, and this hegemon bee stinger has arisen to the position of Underbaron. One of several in this scum-ridden city. And they are trying to weather the storm and resist this menace before they too, and other halfling worlds, are annihilated. And as you know, they also press a uniform better than anyone.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, indeed. They do, certainly, sir.
Yes, I say.
In exchange for a sizable cache of armaments and the ammunition to go with it, we have graciously offered to ensure that Hegemon's trip to the world below goes as planned and that he comes to no harm. And that is why I've tasked you, fine gentlemen, with protecting him from any animus.
Yes. Permission to speak freely and ask a question, sir.
But of course.
Yes. Is there anything we should know about this city we're headed to planetside?
It is a place called Deepwater. And,
Yes.
I think I've heard of that.
yes, and, well, like most people on most worlds, they have no idea of what goes on in the skies above, and we just as soon preserve that. World dwellers, well, I call them wuggles.
Yes. Yes,
A
groundlings.
fine term for them.
Yes.
They often tend to misunderstand such things, so best keep it under your lids. Do not, under any circumstances, mention the Rock of Brawl or your business. Just tend to the security of your charge.
Excellent. And
Yes, sir.
will there be plenty of munitions on site, or should we bring our own?
I have seen fit to ensure that additional munitions are delivered to the ship that you will be taking down to the surface. It is called the Mimsy. Its captain is one fat rabbit.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Excellent.
Fat Rabbit. I've heard great tales of that one.
Yes. Yes.
Have you now?
Yes, yes, I certainly have.
Yes. Yes. Only a Neogi bait wouldn't have heard of him. Yes.
Indeed.
I say. Yes.
Well, best carry on then. Business what? Your charge is waiting for you aboard the Mimsy. He will give you more instructions about what you ought to do once you are planetside.
Very well. We accept this mission with great ardor, sir.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
And he shushes you away. But then he says, "Oh, gentlemen, should you meet this quest and fulfill it to my expectation, expect a fine bottle of sherry in your quarters upon your return from my personal stock.
Well, pip pip.
Yes.
Shove off now."
Oh, yes.
And he goes back to tearing into his meal.
And I waddle away.
Okay. As you make your way down to the lower city in the docks, you are greeted with all sorts of foul smells: sweat, smoke, pipe smoke, industry smoke, filth. The streets are dirty. You do your best not to brush up against buildings with your broad shoulders as you make your way along, so as not to scuff your uniforms as you make your way to the docks. And there you, at the end of a particularly long, wretched, bent dock, you see this small cutter, basically, sails up with the word Mimsy in beautiful scrollwork on the aft castle. And it is staffed almost completely by halflings, and there's a lot of chittering on board and business to get the ship prepped and what. As you walk your way up the gangplank, it bends and bows under your weight, and as you step foot on the deck, the ship leans to one side. But it appears to just be floating off this dock in empty space, with the great moon of Sulune below you.
I say, Old Thunder, what is it you do know about this fat rabbit? I may have told a fib. I know nothing about him.
Oh, well, you've caught me in a bit of a lie-loo indeed. Myself, I can't say I've ever heard a single thing about him, but I can't let the Major know that.
Oh, yes, no. Oh, good show, old chap. Yes. Indeed.
All right.
I think that was quite a good one.
Yes.
I'm broken. I can't.
Anyway, you quickly become acquainted with members of the crew as they bustle about. They were certainly expecting you. The captain you can see is a tiny whip of a halfling with a hat and a feather and a tiny crab perched on his shoulder, like a king crab.
That's awesome.
Yes. And he doesn't seem to pay much attention to you. He's more concerned with, now that you're aboard, getting underway as quickly as possible. It is then that your charge, Hegemon Beestinger, or who you assume to be, graces you with his presence. And he seems to come out of nowhere. It's like he's just sort of standing between you. You just notice him there. And you can see he is, first of all, striking because he is a halfling, so he's really, really tiny, like up to your kneecap. And he's very, very pale, almost ghost-like. I would venture to say albino.
Oh, wow.
And he is wearing a black robe, like a wizard's robe, covered with all kinds of weirdly shaped patches that seem to have been just sort of hastily, somewhat stitched on in kind of a random, nonsensical pattern. You see a patch that kind of looks like a bag, another one that kind of looks like a door, another one that kind of looks like a ladder and a horse and a dog and a bottle, just like weird assortment of patches on his robe.
That man wouldn't pass uniform inspection if he worked his whole life at it.
I'm standing right here.
Yeah, Godzooks, man!
Yes, so, and I grab a silver bugle off my belt and I play a fanfare.
Ah! Stop that noise! Stop! Just
Yes.
stop! Stop!
Yes.
Okay. You must be Thunder, he says to you with the horn.
No, I would not have the honor. Thunder is the handsome one.
Yes, that's a common mistake. I am the thunder. He is the lightning.
Okay. Just, okay. Don't talk so loud. My ears are very sensitive.
We will try to lower our voices to your permissible standards, sir.
Yes, as much as thunder and lightning can, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. So, here's the deal, guys. We're going down to the planet, and nobody can know that I'm going to be there. So I need you to be discreet.
Yes, mum's the word.
Can you be discreet?
Yes. Discreetness is my middle name.
Okay. Now, normally I'd take you below deck so we could talk about what's going to happen, but since you won't fit down there, I'm going to have to tell you here. Fortunately, nobody else will care. Okay, my sister, Harsha, whom I love, has been sentenced to a labor camp outside of the city of Waterdeep, and we need to break her out.
Good gods!
Yes, by the spheres.
And there's only one way that we can accomplish this, and that's with the help of another Beestinger. So we're going down to Waterdeep to find one, and I know where she lives, and once we get there, we're going to get her to help us break my sister out.
Splendid. Simple recruitment and acquisition. So, how exactly are we going to be discreet in this matter?
Well, once we get to the city, don't tell anybody who I am.
Simple
It is
enough.
very important that no one in Waterdeep know that there's a Beestinger who's just arrived. Moreover, and just to make it clear, my sister was wrongly imprisoned in this labor camp.
Oh, of course.
Yes, of course. We wouldn't break the law.
Yes, she was convicted of firearms possession, but she doesn't even own a firearm. She would never own a firearm. Waterdeep
That's
is
no
run.
loss, I think.
Waterdeep is run by a bunch of human heistists. That's right.
Yes, well, I'm sorry. Back up about the part about firearm possession being illegal.
Yeah, she was arrested for owning a beautiful, beautiful black powder weapon.
Yes. Yeah, I can't even imagine. Like, how could this even happen unless the whole system was corrupt? The whole system must be just corrupt. My sister is the nicest, most gentle halfling in this crystal sphere. This is a grave injustice.
A corrupt system cannot be allowed to stand.
Yes.
We must absolutely break her up forthwith and bring her back and see that justice is done.
No. My job is to break her out. Your job, lightning, thunder, whatever your name is to protect me. Me.
Yes.
I am an underbaron of the Rock of Brawl. My security is paramount. Paramount. Do you understand what paramount means?
Yes. Of course.
Yes. Your orders are as crystal clear as a crystal sphere, sir.
Yes.
All right, then. I have to go below decks and pilot this little ship. And then he walks off.
Don't worry about discretion, I say as I'm pinning grenades to a bandolier across my chest. Don't worry. Yes.
And then you hear him mumbling as he walks away. My sister's very important to me. She helps me run everything here. I don't know what I'd do without her. And then the ship leaves and you begin to make your way across charted space, heading across the silvery forests and lakes that cover the moon of Selûne. And then as you come up over this great moon, an even larger celestial body presents itself to you. The great planet of Toril, revealed as you leave the Rock of Brawl on the dark side of the moon and head to this vast, vast world.
I never tire of this.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. It is a beautiful journey. And as you make your way down through the atmosphere of the planet, the air around you ripples and changes. The envelope of magical air that had sustained you up to this point sort of is torn away by the cool north air, the sea air, from the Sea of Swords. As you descend toward a vast coastline and settle in the water about 20 miles away, and then chart a course like a conventional craft toward Waterdeep Harbor. And upon your arrival, no one there suspects that the Mimsy is anything but a small little cutter craft from some podunk northern city or town.
Until two giant hippo men get off of it.
Well, that is true. Once it touches down in the water and makes a conventional, applies the waters into Waterdeep Harbor, Hegemon basically comes back up and leaves the sailing of the ship to the crew. And so now he's with you and he says, I have to apologize. I'm very upset. I was a little curt with you earlier and I didn't mean to be. I'm not like that.
Yes.
But the situation with my sister is intolerable. I hope you understand that.
Oh, yes. I have a sister myself. Understand very much, sir.
He dabs,
Yes.
he dabs the tears from his eyes.
And Corporal Durham is like a brother to me. If anything were to happen to him, well, sir, I would be more than a little bit curt.
I don't care what happens to him.
Oh, well, I do care what happens to you, Sergeant Packer, sir. You are indeed like a brother to me, too. A more handsome, more intelligent, more strategic brother.
And, Mr. Beestinger, we are contractually obligated to care about what happens to you.
I know. Once you climb off the ship onto the dock and make your way along, you can see Hegemon is looking around. And of course, you're garnering a lot of attention from dock workers and whatnot. But the thing about Waterdavians, which Hegemon tells you that, to their credit, they may be heightist, but they don't seem to care about anything. And so, be you too tall or too short, they don't seem to mind as you trundle by. They are, however, struck by your accoutrement, but a little too intimidated to say anything.
Sure. As we're going, I pop a little, parasol because I'm worried that Hegemon's skin is going to burn in the sun. So I'm, carrying it over him while we walk this parasol.
He sort of stops for a minute and looks up at the shade that's enveloped in the parasol, and he says, that's so thoughtful.
Yes, yes. Here to protect you, too, from the sun's rays, my friend.
Oh my goodness. I'm beside myself. And then he walks on, and he says, there should be somebody here. We made arrangements for somebody to pick us up and deliver us by cart. And he stops at that moment, and as you look, you see that his gaze is trained upon. There is a cart just parked on the wharf amid some supplies and cargo that was offloaded from other ships. There's not much to it except it's an open-topped cart, like you'd throw hay bales in the back of, obviously thinking about GIF. There's really no place to put you but in one of these things. But standing outside the cart is a strawberry-haired halfling holding up a big sign that says Bee Stinger.
Yes, the very name of discretion.
Yes, yes, as you can see. I am.
You can see Hegemon's face just goes from white to red. And like a little, you almost imagine a little thundercloud forming over it.
I run over and try to grab the sign and rip it in half.
Okay. The strawberry-haired halfling is a little shocked and sort of gasps. But he doesn't stop you. And you tear it up.
Yes. Yes, discretion. Yes.
Hegemon just sort of walks over to him and just kind of stands right in front of him, halfling to halfling, and just shakes his head.
I trail him like his shadow,
Yeah.
and I shake my head too.
And then when Thunder shakes his head, I shake my head. See.
The strawberry-haired halfling doesn't really know what has happened, but he says, I was going to take you now to, there's the places, we found out that the place is on Troll Skull Alley. It's in the North Ward. It'll take us about 20 minutes to get there. Proceed, says Hegemon sternly. And at that point, you can see that the halfling lowers down puts basically some boxes so the Hegemon can step up onto where the driver sits, and the driver can sit next to him, and then Hegemon just tells you to pile him back.
Troll Skull Alley.
Oh yes, and I almost forgot. Some of the halfling crew also basically on little dollies bring 2 big crates of supplies, which are just marked with a thundercloud and a lightning bolt.
Is that our dinner? Our rations?
No, those are your explosives.
Even better!
Oh, careful with that. Oh, yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so one wrong move and you could blow us all sky high.
Oh, yes. It would be glorious. But very dangerous.
All right, and thus you make your way, fully armed, through town. Strix and Diath, you are, well, what are you up to?
Oh, probably being home and unassuming.
Yeah.
Reading a broadsheet, drinking your coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Strix is just probably doing stuff for the bakery.
Yeah, she might actually have a couple customers poking their heads in and just buying some stuff and leaving.
Yeah, I imagine a couple of them poke their heads in and she greets them just like, hello, and then they immediately leave.
Yes. There's business at the temple that has drawn Evelyn away, and Paulton actually is taking up some, I wouldn't call them obligations, but some other prospects for performing.
Wow.
Since his market thing went off with such a bang, he's been in demand, and people have been looking for him to play in inns and taverns and whatnot. And so he and Simon have gone off in that regard. So things are remarkably quiet, and the kids are out playing. And as some customers leave, your doorway is darkened. Well, the first thing is you hear a clattering wagon outside, and then your doorway is darkened by a pale halfling in black patchwork robe.
I doubt I'm anywhere near the doorway.
Probably
Oh
not.
wait, no, I wasn't. Was I near the doorway?
If you're like behind the counter, you would see the doorway.
Yeah. Okay, then I would see the doorway. I'd look over and be like, "Welcome. You want to buy? More customers? Hey, hello."
I am not a customer, but I am here to see Strix Bee Stinger.
Oh, for what reason?
And at this point, you can see through the window that there are some really big hippo men unloading boxes from the back of this cart.
Yeah, my eyes like dart to that, like like I know that's a problem. But I'm still focusing on this halfling, like, oh, why would you need to be in touch with her? Not saying that I'm not her.
Are you?
I'm not going to answer that until you tell me what you need her for. I've been told that by my friends to not say things unless I find out what it's for first. That's how you get involved with devils.
Okay. So my name is Hegemon, and
Okay.
I need your help.
Not saying that's me.
With some family business.
Oh. Oh. Right. Okay. Yes, that is me. Yes, it is, I suppose, my obligation to help with family business, right?
He looks around to see if all the customers are gone, and then he skulks over to the counter, and he sort of disappears because he's so small. But you sort of peer over the counter, and you see him looking up over the glass, and he says, I am a bee stinger, too.
Oh, good. Well, welcome, friendly brother.
Okay. So...
Do you want a pie? Do you want some tea? Also, are those hippo people with you? Because I really just hope that they're not here to pick up ours. Because I'm just so tired of him.
Pip.
They come in. They come in with their big boxes.
Warrington, your friends are here to take you home.
You know he's somewhere.
Right.
God damn it.
Oh, God. I like point towards our like strongest chairs.
Okay.
I'm just like, please use the table that Warrington has broken about 17 times, so I've had to put it back together.
Capital. Thank you, man.
Yes. You see some chairs that look like they have been put back together or are fairly sturdy. You also see a very sturdy-looking, velvet-lined, Gothic monstrosity in a corner.
Oh.
Don't talk about Strahd that way.
When she screams Warrington, however, that rings bells for you two, because you know a Warrington, or you know of him, rather. But it can't be. It can't be that Warrington.
Oh my God.
Commodore Warrington.
Oh my God, he's like important.
It's a Commodore. So I give you Thunder. I like take out the monocle and give you the stare, and then put.
During the stare.
Yes. You don't mean Commodore Warrington Munt, do you? No.
I don't know
Possibly.
what that means, but I definitely mean Warrington Munt. He definitely lives here in our basement or somewhere, maybe in the walls. I honestly don't know where he's.
He's been slowly migrating up to the attic because it's got higher ceilings.
Oh, okay.
And unfortunately it's right across from Diath. That's the downside. So you start shouting his name. So once you realize that it's the same Warrington Munt, here's what the two of you know about Warrington Munt. Warrington Munt was a senior officer. He did something that GIF can only aspire to, and that is during an engagement with a Mind Flayer vessel, he basically shot himself out of a cannon at the Mind Flayer vessel with a bomb and blew it up. It was basically a suicide mission after the GIF bombard Yamato, which he was serving on, ran out of ammunition.
That sounds like something nice DM's allowed to happen.
And it exploded in the atmosphere of this planet and was basically obliterated.
My dear Lightning, I think we may very well be in the presence of a living legend.
Yes, one that no one knew was living, sir. Yes, by the spheres.
Yes.
This is incredible.
Well, you plan on taking him home, right?
We would be honored merely to see the hairs upon his head.
Great.
Yes, surely this is his shop. He owns it.
No,
Yes.
he does not. I will be right back. You just stay here. I'm going to bring you a pie. All of you. You all get pies, and I will be right back. I immediately like go as fast as I can to just throw pies.
Okay.
It doesn't even matter which ones.
All right, she just tosses some pies down in front of you.
We would be honored to eat the pies made by a friend of Warrington Munt.
I don't know if I'm really a friend.
And then she runs up she runs up this spiral staircase that corkscrews up through the middle of the tap room and disappears upstairs. Whereupon Hegemon conjures forth a spectral hand and slaps the pies out of your mouth and off the table and says, "What are you doing?"
My voracious appetite.
This isn't about you. And this isn't about your stupid dead friend. This is about me. This is about me and my sister and rescuing her. What are you doing? How does this further our mission?
It gives you extra protection, sir, in the form of a living legend. You see, I am but a lowly corporal. This here is a mighty sergeant, but a commodore hero. Now
and of the caliber of Commodore Munt?
Yes.
Surely you can see the value in that.
Yes, and of course at no extra charge to you, since we are his ride home.
Oh, that's a very good point. And I'm sorry I overreacted, and I'll get you some more pies.
Yes. Oh, no, thank you. Thank you very much. Go for the ones that are berry custard. You see, the berry cuts the sweetness with the tartness. It's very nice. And then I light up a cigar over the explosives.
Okay, Strix, you find Diath sequestered in his quiet place.
I imagine while Strix is just running up the stairs, he's like, "I'll be right back."
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So, Diath, you are not surprised when you hear her screams get closer and closer and closer to where you are. And you can hear Warrington is on the other side of this level of the house in his attic, just sort of moving boxes and clearing out a space and making it more homey.
Yeah, so Strix like slams open the door or whatever she does. This probably happens like 4 times a day.
Yeah.
And she's just like, Dan, so there's a halfling beat stinger down there. I don't know, maybe a wizard, I'm not sure, but there's also 2 more Warrington Munts. 2 more of them down there.
Diath is sitting at a desk with like a bunch of different stuff in front of him. A few of them have the same Lord's Alliance emblem.
Yeah.
And upon hearing this, she's kind of puts his quill down, scoots away from his chair, and walks up to Strix and just goes, "What?"
2 more of them. 2 more. And they've got cigars and monocles, and they talk too much, and they're the same. They're the same as Warrington Munt. And I yelled at him. I don't think he heard me because he's like dragging around something upstairs.
Yeah. And they're here for Warrington?
No, apparently they're here for me. Apparently the bee stingers need something from me. I don't know. They need help.
Okay. Well,
I don't know what they need yet. I don't ask those questions because usually I say yes to everything, so I need to have my answers monitored.
Right. What little I understand the bee stinger, like, are you obligated to do this?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't really know either.
I don't think I'm obligated, like forced to. It's not like a spell or...
No, maybe not, but if we could help another bee stinger, maybe it's at least a small way to repay Rosie.
Yeah. I mean, if it helps Rosie
or
Grandma.
Yeah, it'll be simple, easy to do, and then they can take Warrington, and he can go home, back to his homeland safely.
Which would be great.
Wouldn't it be great?
It sure would.
I'll go tell Warrington.
Yes, please. I'll go down and continue to give these hippo people pies because they're our customers.
Good job.
Okay. Runs back down.
So anyway,
after she runs back down, Warrington actually sort of pokes out through his door, kind of like he just missed something. Then he goes back into his room and says, "I wish these rafters were about 2 feet higher."
Can't do that.
No,
the building has something called foundation. Just look
up here.
We need you downstairs.
Why?
Because there are some friends to see you with crates of smoke powder.
Oh my
God. Running forward is stomping in place of excitement.
And thus, And thus, Sergeant Ernest Paca and Corporal Rufus Durham are confronted by Commodore Warrington Munt. You can see that he is out of uniform and holding a duster.
And then when Dieth also gets downstairs, he's just like, oh my god, they have more smoke powder.
And there's fire next to it.
And you can see Warrington Munt has an apron that's too small for him, just sort of stretched over his belly and tied off behind him.
God zooks, and he's out of uniform.
Oh, yes.
My word! What is this then? Corporal! Sergeant!
Yes.
You've caught me somewhat amiss.
Sorry.
What are you laughing at, Ding Dong?
That's not his name.
God damn it.
That's okay, though. I'm tired of saying it's not.
And he looks at the crates and he says, "It's not my birthday."
Commodore, we have not the words.
Well, then allow me to do the talking. What brings you to this fair establishment?
Business of this a very, very small one. I look down at the bee stinger.
Yes, he is very small. And you see Hegemon just clenches his fists.
Yes, he is our charge, which is a secret. But yes, we have come to protect him. And, well, knowing of your bravery, sir, we are wondering if you need a ride back.
A ride back?
Yes. I'm sure the crew of the Yamato would want to pay their respects.
He says, "They survived then."
Thanks to your act of bravery.
Oh,
Yes, I've heard they survived. They did survive, right?
capital.
But I'm afraid before we can bring you back to you know where in the you know what, we have something of a mission to attend to first, Commodore.
Strix is just listening to this whole thing with like one eye, like.
Ah, yes, of course. Wink, wink. Very good.
Oh, yes, it requires the utmost discretion. I see you are already in a disguise, sir.
Yes,
If
indeed.
only we had been so excellently prepared.
Yes.
Yes, well, carry on then. I shall get out of this attire and outfit myself appropriately. You shall see we in a few minutes.
At your leave, sir.
Yes.
And then he sort of looks for a place to put down the feather duster and then just kind of takes it with him back upstairs.
It appears, excuse me, houseboy, and I am talking to Dieth now. Yes, you must be a servant boy of the house. Where could you put our things for us?
No. Strix just like, nope, there's no servants here. We have no servants. This is my shop.
Can we
And this is-
please talk about the mission at hand?
Oh, right. Okay. Tell
So-
me what you need
First of all,
so that the hippos can leave.
the halfling turns to you, Dieth, and says, "My name is Hegemon Beestinger, and I have come to rescue my sister. And I need Strix's help to do it, because she is a very powerful sorcerer, if the reports are true.
They are true.
And we Beestingers have to stick together. The whole multiverse is against us."
I mean, I don't believe that.
I don't care.
Okay, Hegemon. Who is your sister?
My sister's name is Harsha. She's beautiful and smart and a year younger than me. And she has been sentenced to a place outside of the city called Amen's Farm. Have you heard of it? It's a labor camp. A labor camp! My sister is in a labor camp!
Have I heard of Amon's Farm?
You have.
I feel like I
So
have.
right
yeah.
outside the walls of the city it's all pasture land to the north and east. There's even a small town out there, and there's a whole bunch of farms that actually supply a lot of the city's produce and dairy and whatnot. But amid these farms is a special farm, a particularly large farm, where criminals of the city are often sent to do quote-unquote hard labor. What that really means is they're put up in tents in this fenced-in farm and forced to basically tend to the farm under the guard of the city, of the army, of Waterdeep's city guard. So it is a fortified farm with like a concentration camp like tent city for the prisoners, and then there's a big barn, and there's a dairy and other facilities on site surrounded by gardens that are tended to and harvested by criminals. And this is seen as like a reform kind of camp. A person might be sentenced here for a summer or a whole year or several years, depending on the magnitude of their crime.
Okay, so it's more like rehabilitation than harsh punishment?
Yeah, it's not like cracking rocks, so it's not onerous work, but it is, and it's productive. It serves the city. So it's called Amends Farm because it's a way for criminals to make amends and earn back the trust of the city.
Gotcha, okay. So that towards Hegemon then, I'll say, well, do you know what she did to...
Yes, she was falsely accused of bearing and trying to sell firearms, which she didn't do, because as I explained to these big dummies, she would never have firearms.
And how would you know she would never have it?
Because she hated the smell of smoke powder.
God, I don't understand that at all.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
They were just looking to pin it on her. I know it, because she's a good person.
Would you happen to know, would you happen to have any suspects that you think actually caused this?
I don't care. I just got to get her out. That's why I'm here. That's why I brought these two. They're going to help me do it. And so is she. That is if she wants to stay in the family.
I don't know. Ugh. I mean, because that sounds like the law, and we've had run-ins with the law, and I don't really want to have more run-ins with the law. Maybe, DF, maybe you can ask them. Maybe you can use your badge and ask them why.
His what?
His badge. I didn't mean to say that. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Some people know me as Captain D.F. Woodrow of the Lord's Alliance. I have a certain pull here when it comes to the law of Waterdeep.
Well, that's great. Use your
I
pull.
can't breathe.
So, by that extension, if there was a false accusation, that's something I take very, very seriously, and something that maybe
you don't know what it's like to be falsely accused.
The biggest like, cloud.
The pain, the loneliness. She's suffering without me.
Well, Strix, I mean, if it's a bee stinger that needs help, maybe we should. And if there's a false accusation, maybe it's something that something we can try to do to make it better.
You know, you can help with that.
Yeah, I'll do my best. I mean, I'll do my best.
Well, I don't even know where to start. Should we go to the farm?
We'll do that in a bit. First, I'll see if I can't do some court filing acquisitions and see if I can't see how much paperwork is still on the archives to pull up and see if any of that will show any other additional clues. And then from there, maybe I can reopen the case and investigate it.
That sounds like a lot of time 3 hippo people will be living in our establishment.
Right,
Yes, you're out of time.
No. I want to do this legally if we can.
No, okay.
The bee stinger name was worth something. Honesty, integrity, loyalty, He
I mean,
starts
I was
looking at
told
Strix.
that everyone was evil. They're evil. Are you evil?
No.
Okay, well then that mean other evil lady lied to me. I should really stop believing everyone that talks to me.
Okay, well, either way,
We'll wait here.
I'll go see what I can do, and I'll be back as soon as possible. Won't take more than an hour.
I think we can wait that long.
This is going to be like that GIF where he comes back in with the pizza and everything's on fire.
Well, it's a lot like a gif of something. By the way, do you have any more pies?
Yes, you seem to be out in the display case. Yes.
Well, in the meantime,
Yeah.
I'm sure Warrington can regale them with the tales of his many adventures.
Great idea.
So yes, when Warrington comes back down, and this is probably like minutes after Dieth will head out.
Yeah.
So Dieth's going to go to like one of the watch stations and see what he can find out about this Harsha bee stinger.
Yeah, just any information about it or legalities or
Great.
etc.
Yeah. So it takes Warrington a bit of time to get his medals adjusted just right.
Right, I figured this would buy me
Yeah.
at least 5 hours.
Yeah, probably. And so as you head out, Warrington comes downstairs and begins regaling you about what happened after he was shot into the Illithid Nautiloid. It looked like that he was about to get his mind wiped by an Illithid when he set off the bomb that blew the ship to smithereens. And then he rode the debris down through the atmosphere and plunged into the ocean, where he was plucked out of the tide by a passing ship which had these fine people and others like it aboard. And that's how he was saved from an almost certainly watery grave.
Which, coincidentally, at the time, also had Captain Dieth Woodrow.
That's true.
True.
That's true. Rare quinkydink. So not long after Dieth leaves, Hegemon cuts Warrington off and says, okay, I've heard enough. No more. No more gift stories. No more war stories. I don't need to know about Illithid ships or gift ships or space battles. The only thing that concerns me is my sister, and every minute of every day that she spends in that labor camp is 1 minute and 1 day that we are apart. Now that we've gotten rid of that guy, let's go.
Yes, as long as we don't break any laws, I think direct action, preferably with high-grade explosives, is the best way to go.
Yes, indeed. Commodore Munt, and I start tossing Warrington grenades to outfit him.
No.
Very good.
I'm just like,
I know it's not your famous rifle, but we have a blunderbuss right here for you.
Yes,
My
here you go.
God.
no. I just like mage hand starts like catching the grenades. Like no. None of that. Nope. And also, we need to hide these because as soon as Squidly gets back, I can't deal with it. I just can't.
So
I can't do it.
Hegemon turns to you, and he sort of tugs on your robe.
Yes, I look down.
And yeah. And he says, Strix, we are bee stingers. We have to look after each other.
All right.
I say we let them create the distraction that we need to get to my sister. Once I get to her, I can get her out. But
Well, here's the thing. We can't break any more laws.
I don't care about laws. These are Waterdeep, stupid laws.
I agree with that.
And I don't come from Waterdeep, and Harsha doesn't come from Waterdeep, and Waterdeep's laws don't apply to us. We're bee stingers. They don't apply to you.
Laws apply to people
No.
for a reason.
No. Laws are stupid unless you're the one who's making them.
I mean, I agree with you that laws are stupid, but I also have a aversion to getting my friends put in jail because it makes them sad.
No, we're breaking someone out of jail. Don't you see? That's the right thing to do. We don't put people in jail. We get people out.
I'm seeing your point. I mean, I'd rather.
Would you want to be spending the next 5 years in a labor camp with no friends and no family?
I mean, no.
Put yourself in her
No.
shoes.
I spent 50 years alone, and no, I
Her
wouldn't.
tiny little shoes.
They're really tiny. Yours are tiny. Everyone, like, they're just so small.
Shut up. And just agree with me.
Well, I don't want to put any of my friends in danger. I can help you, but
I just got your friend out of danger. There is no danger. Just you and me and bee stingers and those guys with the bombs and shit. Let them blow themselves up.
I don't want them to bring any of those bombs.
Would you rather them stay here, those bombs, in your bakery, where they could just blow up everything?
You're
I'm
right.
sorry, that was a little louder than I intended. Go back to your bombs.
I can't just leave. I can't just leave. Like, I mean, if we disappear, it's gonna be real bad.
Now, young lady, we could make this easy. Who's your commanding officer? Just get an order from him and we'll be on our way.
Well, yeah, but that's Dieth, and you want me to go without my commanding officer.
Ooh,
That servant boy was your commanding officer?
Yes, they did call him captain. That was.
If it helps, I will be your commanding officer. I am a senior bee stinger. Family loyalty means something.
If I don't agree to this, does this mean that I'm gonna have to go back to destroying the multiverse?
That's right. You won't be a bee stinger anymore, and you won't have the protection of the family name. You'll be whatever you were before. I don't remember.
All right, fine. Whatever you want me to do. I just don't want everyone to get in trouble.
Gather your things, boys. We're heading out.
Can I
Tally ho, pip pip.
Yes.
Can I say at this point, Dieth walks back in through the front door, having not made it 5 feet before overhearing everything.
Make a perception check, and we'll see.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's real good.
Okay.
26.
26. Yes.
Yeah.
As soon as they the door throws open, you're like there.
Yeah.
Oh!
Hey guys.
I messed up.
It's all right, Strix. It's just I'm not letting you go alone.
Okay. I was going to. I just don't want you to go to jail.
I'm not going to jail. You're not going to jail. No one's going to jail. Hopefully. But still, it's better I go with you if you guys are going to do anything brash.
That's fair.
There are 3 GIF just standing.
With grenades. Oh my god. Well, I guess we should go now.
Oh, I see. Are there children in this house? I see toys everywhere.
Yeah, they're outside playing. I really don't want them to meet you.
Well, I hope you're training them well. They could be a captain at a young age like this lad. Yes. Sorry about the houseboy.
Warrington says,
no idea.
I have been waiting for this for some time, I must admit. After you plucked me out of those briny depths, I thought my end was near, but you saved my life, and this is my chance to repay you. And in the company of such fine gentlemen.
Yes, Commodore.
Well, you know you never owe us anything, Warrington, but I wouldn't dare defy you the time to put that trusty smoke powdery firearm to good use, because I know how much you like it.
Indeed I do.
Maybe we can go to space after this and just leave forever. No one will find us. Do we need to bring waffles, you think? Do we need waffles to eat anyone, or?
Are you talking about victuals? I'd gladly eat something. I'm half starved.
I just gave you a pie!
No, the less the better for this.
Right.
If we're just going in there, we're just going to do an inquiry. So,
do these 3 hippo people look like an inquiry to you?
We are trained in the manner of discretion.
We are nothing if not discreet.
Yes, that is why my nickname is Lightning.
And mine is Thunder.
Exactly.
And mine is Warrington Munt.
Yes.
It's
no
time to
nickname
leave.
needed.
The faster we get this over, the faster I can go back to making pies.
And your nickname is Strix, which is quite hilarious, I agree.
Well, that's just my name. I mean, that's...
Yes. I turn to Warrington Munt and I say, did you not tell her what it means?
What?
Yes, well, it never came up in casual conversation, and it's not the kind of thing a gentleman brings up to a lady.
What? Yes. Excuse me. Very embarrassed. Yes.
Wait, what does my name mean? You can't just say these things to me. This is an optics problem. This is bad optics.
We should carry on. The mission. First, foremost, always the mission.
Yes, we can't dally about little matters such as names or meanings. Let's be off.
Afraid I really stepped in it there. Then I'll
I
grab
can't
a
be the
crate.
Blackstaff if my main name means something.
And smash cut to.
Yes, yes. All right. So getting out through the city won't be that difficult because Hegemon is going to make all of you invisible except the driver of the wagon of the cart. And that will be you, Diath. Since you're a captain, you won't have any trouble getting in and out.
Oh, I thought his reason going to be because I'm the servant boy, but that's way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To his credit, he doesn't see you as a servant boy.
Good.
And
I'm terribly embarrassed about that. But
Yes, we've gotten that all straightened out.
Yes.
So from Troll Skull Alley, you take Serdune Street to the High Road, and then the High Road into the Field Ward, through and across the Field Ward through the North Gate. Since you're a captain, you get no flack from the guards. In fact, they clear the crowds away so that you can take your rickety, weirdly sort of heavy-set, empty wagon out. And then once you get out of the city along the high road, it's really just the first right. You take that, and that road will bear you straight to Ammon's farm. And you can see it as soon as you leave the city, because you're on high ground as you leave the North Gate. Ammon's farm is a vast encampment, basically on a flat prairie with a bunch of tents in a strip along one side, and then the fields in rows on the other, with the barn and other buildings nestled among those fields. There's also what appears to be between the tents and the fields, a command building. Looks like a barracks for the soldiers who work Ammon's farm. And as you draw near in your rickety wagon, Diath, you can see around the perimeter of Ammon's farm are city guardsmen on horseback, just basically doing a very light, casual patrol around the outside to make sure nobody hops over the fence and tries to skedaddle.
Okay. Neat.
At this point, Invisible Hegemon says to you, "Now, it's very important that I find my sister as quickly as possible. You can leave the rescue of her to me. All that's important is that I can get close to her."
Oh, yes.
Well, yes, I'm aware of what you need. We'll just allow me to do the talking, please. And don't do anything hasty or brash or foolish.
Don't tell me what to do. I hate that, says this invisible voice.
We're not going to get along very well.
I don't care. Just do your job.
Yeah, if you want me to do my job, you have to listen to what I say. I'm telling you, if you do anything stupid, this can get much, much worse.
The invisible voice says, "If I..."
Oh my god. Starks will just like whisper, like, "Don't worry, I can polymorph him. It'll be fine."
And to which Hegemon says, "You're talking to me."
What? Balls.
All right. So yes, this road will basically hug the west side of the fence of Ammon's farm before it heads to the barn and other buildings. But before you even get that far, a guard on horseback, a woman in her 40s, late 40s, early 50s, in her full uniform, stops you with a gloved hand and says, "Halt. Where are you going?" The high road is back that way.
I actually will dismount from the cart to approach her actually face to face. Show her the badge.
The City Watch. What brings you here?
Say I am Diath Woodrow, investigator, and I'm here just to make a couple of inquiries about some of the potential. What do you call them? Inmates here.
I don't understand.
I'm just here to follow up on some possible leads, and I need to double checking a couple of things here, paperwork-wise and the like.
Well, that's unusual.
Yeah, it is.
Make a deception roll.
Ah, heck. Where's my deception? Oh, no.
Oh no.
6.
Well, okay, let's do this. If you want to get on your wagon, I'll lead you to the commander.
All right, much appreciated. It's just like, I did it.
Yeah. You hop on. Your little mule takes the cart forward. You get stuck in some mud for a bit, so the guard just sort of stops and waits until the mule gets the wagon out. The wagon is so burdened and so heavy right now that it is sinking in deep ruts into the soft earth of the road. And
yes, I think we'll be able to make a very quick getaway, Durham.
Hegemon says, this would be a lot easier if one of you brutes got out and pushed.
Oh, yes, right away, sir. As the lowest ranking GIF, I will get out and immediately begin
So as soon as he gets out, you just kind of spring up a couple inches, Diath. And the captain just sort of gives you, sort of arches an eyebrow as the whole wagon heaves. And then there's a strange invisible grunt. And then suddenly the mule is kind of pushed or knocked forward by the carriage, or the cart, as it is pushed out of the rut.
Keith is just like, oh no.
And you get it out, no problem. You're more than strong enough there, Corporal, to give this thing the heave-ho. And do you want to just walk behind it at this point, or do you want to hop back in?
I'll keep walking behind it until
Okay.
we get to a point where I think I need to hop in. Yeah.
Okay.
Leaving
Yeah, I'm not-
footprints probably in the road.
Oh my god. I'm not getting out. I'm staying.
All right. She leads you into the farm between two fields, down an aisle between them to the barracks house. And Diath, make an insight check.
Okay. Ooh, not bad. 17.
That's pretty good. That's good enough. You can see as you're now in the camp, in the heart of it, there are workers in the fields doing their thing under the supervision of guards on horseback or guards on foot. As you're making your way deeper and deeper into the compound, the guard who's leading you is kind of giving gestures, which look like hand waves at first glance, but they're not. They're too subtle. She is signaling. And you can see that a number of the guards in the field on horseback and whatnot are basically conveying her signals, her hand signals, to others across the entire camp. You think that this is an alarm system.
Ugh.
Oh no.
And she's leading you right into it. And then the gates behind your wagon close.
Oh.
What's protocol here?
Well, this is interesting because the City Watch is basically the police force in charge of investigating crime in the city and protecting the city, and sort of keeping the peace in the city. The City Guard is the military in charge with defending the walls of the city and basically repelling forces. You're a city in a City Guard outpost. So your rank doesn't exactly carry over in this environment.
Right, and I just realized all of this just now as
Yes.
I realized this is going very, very wrong.
Yeah.
Now, my dear Corporal, I don't wish to alarm you, but I believe our route of egress has been shut off. That's not very tactically sound.
Oh, I shall have a Witchlight Marauder ready, sir, just in case we need to blow this entrance.
Yes, I think that's wise. But don't forget,
Yes.
discretion first.
Discretion.
Exactly. And I have my Series X Planet Buster.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn. I already forgot. What is the halfling's name again?
Hegemon.
Hegemon. That's right. I'm gonna turn to Hegemon, and or wherever he is. I'm gonna turn to a blank space and start talking.
Okay.
And say, I don't know if this is going to work. So you need to go find your sister right now. Invisible.
You don't get a response.
Are you here?
You sort of reach out, and there's nothing.
He's gone. He left.
Oh, George.
Okay.
Oh no.
All right. I'm just like, okay, we've been duped. Can I do an insight check onto if we've been duped?
Sure, make an insight check.
Oh, nice. That's a 16.
It smells like a dupe to you.
Okay. Yeah, we've been duped. Okay. So I become visible.
Either
again.
that or else Hegemon hit upon that idea shortly before you did and exercised his right to go hunting for his sister.
Okay. But I'm feeling the former.
Yeah.
Okay.
The dupe.
Yeah. So I uninvisible myself.
You can do that. You can basically do that by attacking somebody or casting a spell. So whatever. You cast a little spell and you're invisible. You're visible.
Am I invisible? Okay. Mostly I just maybe I'll just turn my staff into something and then turn it back or something.
Okay.
And I will tap on the top of the carriage to just try and get Dia's attention.
Yeah, you do.
Tick tick.
What?
Through a knot hole, you just hear Hegemon is gone. I'm pretty sure he was just using us.
Oh. That's our charge, sir.
This is not particularly good for us.
Well, he's gone. So it's let's leave. It's just time to leave.
Okay.
No, impossible. First order of business, find our charge.
Yes.
You can, no, go ahead. You just go. We're gonna leave.
Yes, but am I still following the? Okay, isn't she still leading me somewhere?
Yeah, toward a bunch of guards.
We can. I mean, I don't know if I have to help him if he is using us. Not very honorable, and he said that word 15 times. So
I want to stop the cart.
Yep.
That way I can just keep approaching on foot. So as soon as I stop the cart and I turn around to kind of start dismounting, I use it to kind of talk back to Strix. And I'll just say, "Oh no, stay put. Don't let." I'll say stay put. They've already sounded the alarm.
yeah, well, she's gonna immediately open the door and be like, "Oh, I didn't realize we were here already. Hello."
What's happening, Strix? What are you doing?
So this tiefling bursts up out of this wagon. The guard on horseback seems kind of nonplussed, like she was expecting something to come out, but and just sort of stares, raises her eyebrows.
We're trying to do some research so that maybe we could have some. I own a bakery, a very important, well-renowned bakery in the city with my compatriot here, and we're trying to see if maybe criminal labor might be good for making pies.
That's what we're going with, huh?
As the okay, first of all, make a deception check.
My face is like
Deception.
Could I maybe make it intimidation?
Didn't sound very intimidating.
What if I looked bad? No, it's fine. Oh, that's actually not bad. 20.
Okay. As implausible as your story seems, they.
Honest, I'd say that's pretty good.
She will listen. You can see other guards sort of coming out with hands rested on swords, though none of them have drawn weapons yet. And you can see among them, sort of emerging from the garrison building, in the company of what you assume to be somebody fairly important, is an elderly halfling woman.
Oh no.
With a big stick.
Oh no.
So, Rosie, you received word through your various sources that a member of the family was doing something off the grid and was going to try to do something utterly foolish, which is break another family member out of this camp. You not only received the message, but you got to the camp in time to talk to the commanding officer about the situation, tell that person who you are, and warn them that some tomfoolery might go down and that you would take care of it.
All right. So I walk out. I see, Strix, do I see you?
Oh yeah, I'm right there making that crazy face of mine that I do.
Oh, that's my favorite. So Rosie, I walk out. I'm leaning heavily on my staff. I take in this sight, and I see Strix. My face softens, and I say, "Hi, dear. How are you? Are you eating?"
Oh, it's Grandma! And I'll just like go and run and give her a hug, and just like just kneel down, and be like, "Yay!"
So the GIF, you don't know who this old halfling woman is, or why Strix suddenly feels the need to throw herself at this tiny person's feet. What is this? Says Warrington from the back of the wagon.
Yes. What is this?
Oh yes.
Oh.
I agree.
I mean, what is this?
Discretion.
Yes.
I mean, I guess like I don't know how to make you guys visible, but there's 3 hippo people here, and I think we were duped by Hegemond, Beastinger. I don't know if you know a Hegemond, but pretty sure he lied to me.
No. Are you sure, Hedgeman?
Yeah, I think he lied to me.
Where is he?
I mean, he's invisible somewhere. He said he wanted to rescue his sister from this camp, and that if I didn't do it...
Like mid-sentence, Rosie turns away from you. She goes,
My dear Miss Barnacle, we have discretion to concern ourselves with.
Yes.
Okay, at this point in time, I need the GIF in the wagon to make a perception check.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Oh yes.
that's a 19.
Very good.
Oh. Yes. That's a 7 for me.
Okay.
Sergeant.
All right, Sergeant, you hear something in one of the crates with you that just sort of goes twang, and then you hear what it sounds like almost like a Rube Goldberg-esque clattering inside the crate.
I take out my monocle. I look over my shoulder, and I peer quite gingerly inside this box.
It explodes. All right, at this point in time, the wagon just is consumed in the biggest fireball you have ever seen. It is multicolored. It's got like purple, reds, pinks, yellows, oranges, flame shooting out of it in all directions. The wagon is obliterated, as is its steed.
I'm glad I got out.
I need the gift to make dexterity saving throws.
Oh, good.
I was in there!
No, you ran and hugged Rosie.
I know,
Yeah,
thankfully.
Thankfully.
Was I far enough away from said explosion?
Yes.
Yay.
You're just out of the range. Actually, you're probably close enough that you're kind of blown off your feet.
Yeah, I imagine I'm like lunge forward
Yeah.
from the blast and like face down.
Yes. And then
Well, my good Corporal Dirk. What did you get on your dexterity saving?
I got a 16, and I'd like to remind the Dungeon Master I was walking behind the car.
That is true.
Yes, yes. Yes.
How did
Just so
you?
you see, Corporal, despite outranking you,
Oh, no.
I seem to have rolled a 6.
Oh dear.
Oh. That is Phlogiston indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. All right. Sorry, still rolling.
That's not good.
That's not good.
Carry the 5.
Rosie is still poking around for Hegemon.
Yeah,
She's
serious.
got her stick, and occasionally she'll just swipe it. Level. I know you're here.
Yeah.
And Strix is just following her, being like, I'm really sorry I didn't write. I was going to. I think I'm cursed. That was what I was going to write you about. And she's just like telling her stories about what had been happening.
So a bunch of criminals in the field see the explosion. They all sort of duck down, and many of the guards are caught off guard as well as this great plume of smoke arrives, and then this shower of flinders, wooden fragments, just kind of rains down upon all of Amen's farm. Okay, so Corporal,
Yes.
you take 45 points of damage.
Yes.
Doing the accent.
No.
All right.
By the spheres.
Sergeant, you take 90.
Well, it's not instant death.
So this fuming carcass basically lands with a flop in amid some carrots, and you recognize instantly, Corporal, that the sergeant is down.
Oh no! I immediately rush over and begin GIF CPR, which I assume I have some sort of military training probably in.
Okay.
And I also start playing an emergency song on my bugle.
As soon as the emergency song starts, like Strix is like in the middle of like some story to Rosie, like, and then this one time, but she turns around, and she's like, oh.
Can we all just take a moment to really appreciate the visualization of GIF CPR?
I know.
Hippo to hippo.
Hippo to hippo, like smooching.
Okay, everybody roll initiative so I know what order we're going in relative to Hegemon, who's trying to avoid Rosie.
Wow.
So we'll start with Strix.
It's a 5.
Dieth?
8.
8.
Wow.
Even though you're down, Sergeant, what's your initiative?
17.
17. Corporal?
21.
21. Rosie?
4.
4. And Hegemon is a blah. So there we go. So first thing that happens is, Corporal, you run over to the charred, looks like almost like just burnt to a crisp corpse, with bits of wood stuck in his nose and in his face and in his chest, and also bits of, he's just got smoldering powder all over him. You go over and you attempt CPR. Make a medicine check.
Okay. 20.
There you go.
Dirty 20. Yeah.
Okay, so you are able to stabilize him immediately.
Yes.
This blackened, charred corpse of your friend.
Mm-hmm.
And
My brother.
Yes. So then that's an action for you. You do have some movement left if you wanted like to drag him out of the carrots or something like that. You could do that.
Yeah, that's. I want to. He ain't heavy. He's my brother. Like pick him up.
Yep.
Am I still invisible at this point?
At this point in time, the invisibility has ended.
Okay, cool.
So,
yeah, so I want to.
There are hippos on the field.
Okay, great. So yeah, I want to pick him up and see if I can carry him to some cover, while drawing a pistol in my other hand.
Okay.
Oh God, they're going full World War II on us.
Yep. All right, at this point in time, next turn up is Sergeant Ernest Thunder Packa, but he is stabilized, so no death save for you at the moment. And that brings us to...
Chris, I'm also calling out for the Commodore.
Yes. So you're not sure what happened to the Commodore in the blast. You're like looking around, there's like just a crater where the wagon used to be. If he is around, he's either still airborne or landed in a haystack somewhere.
Excellent.
Yes.
And he was 2 weeks from retirement.
But I should roll initiative for him before I forget. Okay. All right, and that brings us to Hegemon. Now, Hegemon is... So Amen's farm is a big, sprawling labor camp farm. Hegemon is somewhere about, Rosie, but you're not sure where, because the little bastard was invisible, or he was, you suspect. What's he going to do? Oh, he's looking for his sister. He's already got the distraction going. So he'll do that. Which brings us to Dieth.
Well, I would like to stand up.
Yes.
And immediately look at guard and just be like, I don't know what that was. I don't know what happened.
You brought explosives?
That wasn't me.
I'm pretty sure that was.
Not willingly or by my knowledge.
You were the driver.
Strix will also be like, nope, but there's an invisible halfling walking around named Hegemon who brought everything.
Oh boy, this is important. Where is Harsha Beestinger?
Well, before you showed up and blew yourselves up, we were in the process of having Harsha brought to the garrison commander. I don't know why. She was merely summoned. So she is probably on her way here, on her way there now, in shackles.
So she's not here.
I suggest you find your Hedja whatever and stop him before we do.
Oh no, please stop him.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you're welcome to stop him.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Harsha's not here. I guess the first thing I do is we'll run past the explosion back towards where the entrance kind of was.
Yep.
And basically start looking for tiny halfling footprints.
Got it. All right, make a survival check.
Oh boy.
Mr. Tracker.
6.
Yeah, the tracks around the cart got obliterated, so you kind of look off in sort of a random direction. You find yourself standing amid some cabbages, and it's kind of cool, but you don't see any halfling prints. But you're looking around, and the woman on horseback says, "Don't worry, Captain. The city guard has this under control." And she'll turn and start barking orders at some other guards to find a halfling who's not wearing shackles. Anything else I should know about him? No. Okay.
He knows. He knows. He's pretty good at magic.
If he tries to name drop a bee stinger on you, it's not valid. So.
Which brings us to Warrington, who does indeed emerge from a haystack, crawls out of it, goes over, reaches for his gun and realizes it's blown to pieces and says, "Darnation!" And he holds it up and it breaks in half. And he says, "No. No!"
Oh, no!
And then he pounds the ground. "No!" with his fist.
No.
Strix, you're standing next to Rosie.
Right.
Who's poking the air with her stick.
Right. I'm like, I can look around. If he's by where his sister is, maybe I can look around with my broom. That'd be faster?
You got any, like, don't be invisible spells?
No. I mostly just set things on fire or turn things into chickens.
If you have Dispel Magic, you could.
My Warlock has Dispel Magic.
Yeah.
I don't think I have that.
Okay.
Anymore because I wanted more fire.
I understand.
You're looking at this fuming crater, Rosie. Like, yeah. I understand. Yeah. Okay.
But I think what we can do is if I get on my broom, I can definitely go find his sister, and then he's supposed to be trying to find his sister.
You got room for 2 on that broom?
I mean, probably you're very small.
Let's do this.
You just go on my shoulders.
All right. Yes. All right. So Rosie hops on. Now you know, Strix, that this broom is really intended to just carry one creature. But
Yes.
as you say, Rosie is light, and actually, you find that once she hops on board, she's actually, because she's like this super monk, lighter than air almost.
Oh. Wow.
Yes, so she hops on you. It's like a feather on your back, and as you take to the skies, your broom is able to handle the load, and you launch yourself up with a huge
Yeah, well, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to fix it one of these days.
cloud of smoke, and it backfires about 30 feet up in the air.
So, yeah, then, all right, keep your eyes open, and
Yeah.
we'll just see if we can see him or his sister. I don't think there's too many halflings here, so we'll look.
Since you're skyrocketing right away, you can both make perception checks, and I'll give you advantage because you're high up.
Wow, that's cool.
Ooh.
I love rolling 2 3s.
I think I got a 20.
Oh, great. So Rosie, you spot what you assume to be, from this distance, Harsha Beestinger. She is a halfling with sort of Pippi Longstocking-like hair, very light-skinned, and she's being waltzed in shackles through this tent city where the prisoners are kept when they're not working the fields.
Is my guess that she deserves to be here? Knowing her?
Yes, yeah. She has an insatiable love of firearms, and you know good and well that Waterdeep is a firearm-free city that deals harsh punishments to those who bear and or trade in these weapons.
All right. Oh, Strix, sweetheart, I see her down there.
All right. Do you want me to throw you?
You know, yeah, I would love that, actually. Thank you. I thought you'd never ask.
So you're just going to like launch her off at some point as you're thunder booming overhead? All right.
Yeah. I'm just going to be like, you're going to land, you're fine.
All right.
You're
so,
like I'm good.
Yeah, so after a 60-foot trip through the air, Rosie, you are propelled off the broom, and are you like trying to like soften your descent? Because you're about 30 feet up in the air.
I got the monk agile slow fall or whatever. I don't have my character in front of me, but I can do like a cool landing, 3-point landing.
All right. Yes. So you
and Strix's throw is probably terrible too, so it's all up to you.
All right. You land amid the 2 guards who are escorting this young halfling, who shouts, "Rosie Beestinger!"
Yeah. Hi, Harsha. Been a while.
Oh, nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. To say the least. What are you doing in Waterdeep?
Well, technically, I'm not in Waterdeep.
No, you've never been good with this word badgering nonsense. Answer the question.
I was selling weapons for my brother. I'm sorry.
Pokemon? Where is he?
I don't know. Is he here?
Well, that's the rumor. She's all paranoid looking. She's like still trying to find where this dude.
Of course. Yep.
Is there any sign of him?
You look around, you don't see anything. It's even harder now because you're kind of in the tent city. So there are all these tents around you blocking your line of sight.
Okay.
The good news is that if Hegemon wants to find her, he's got to wend his way through this maze of tents.
Okay. All right. Well, I think the thing that I want to do is bring Harsha out to where all of these crazy hippo men and Strix were.
That would be out in the open amid the fields, so she'd be much more visible there. Okay.
Yeah, and the whole way I'm shouting, "Hegemon, we're going back to the cart. Meet us there. To talk to you."
Okay. As you tap your staff, and you're a monk, so you move like the wind. You can just sort of drag Harsha behind you because her movement is greatly restricted by the shackles around her ankles. So she clanks and clatters as you grab her and pull her along. And the whole time she's just like apologizing to you and saying it was her brother's idea. It was her brother's idea. She was totally talked into it.
I know, sweetie. I know.
And she says if there were any justice, he'd be in shackles and not me. That kind of thing. So but the rest of you can see Rosie dragging this small halfling girl behind her.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and Strix is just following up ahead, so just like I mean, above Rosie, keeping up.
The guards in the compound are currently looking around to see if they can see any sign of an invisible halfling moving among them. Of course, some of the plants that grow here, the corn stalks and things, are even taller than a halfling is, so this is like looking for a needle in a haystack, as it were. Yeah. Which brings us back to you, Corporal Rufus Durham.
Oh, yes. So Corporal Durham is uncharacteristically passionate right now because his brother has fallen.
And the mission is in grave peril too.
Yes, yes. So at this point, knowing that Hegemon has set us up in a way that has hurt my brother, I guess, what is sort of the GIF way here? Am I more loyal to the mission?
This is a conundrum, a genuine GIF conundrum, because your lawful neutral brain tells you that when you are given orders by a superior officer, you follow those orders through without question and to their natural conclusion. So your orders were to protect Hegemon. Those orders have not been rescinded. They still stand. It doesn't matter what kind of person Hegemon is. That's your job, to get him back to the Rock of Brawl alive. That being said, whatever he has done is something he should answer for when the mission is concluded.
Yes. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll find a safe place to plop down Sergeant Packa's body.
Yes.
I'll pull out my musket and toss it to Warrington Munt, because I still have my 2 pistols.
He catches it triumphantly.
I will go over to Rosie and say, Madam, is it your intention that we take your family member alive, motherfucker though he may be?
I didn't realize the GIF had such a gift with words.
You also forgot just how ginormous they are.
Yeah, I look up and up and up and up, and I'm like, boy, Hegemon's really compensating for something, isn't he?
Yes, well, if it were up to me, I would smash his face in till he looked like a collection of Strix. But, as you know, it is my duty to protect him. And so I wonder if it is your intention to bring him alive, so that I may fulfill my charge of protecting him.
As long as he's returned to the Rock of Brawl, and he understands that this is not his plane or his judiciary, then we can come to an understanding. But I need to have a word with him first, because if I see him again anywhere in Faerun or anywhere else that I might be, I will not be so generous.
Oh, yes. Well, I will not be one to get involved in family matters, as it were. Yes.
Smart.
What's the Rock of Brawl?
At this, yeah, the thing you're not supposed to talk about. Okay, the next thing that happens is, or the next person's turn that comes up is Hegemon's. Hegemon. Well, he knows where she is now. Okay. This is so weird, this spell. Okay.
In the meantime, I smolder.
Yes, you smolder. All right. Rosie, everybody around you suddenly freezes. Like just absolutely perfectly still, like a still photograph in whatever position and pose that they were in. You also see the smoke rising up from the crater has also frozen. Like the entire world has been caught in a time stop.
Cool. I'm glad he knows that spell.
Strix is in the air, just frozen, with a big trail of smoke coming up behind her that's also frozen.
Okay.
And you seem to be the only one unaffected.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. Well done. I love it. It's great. Come on out.
You can see sort of rising up out of some tall vegetables is this albino halfling in a patchwork robe, and he says, this was all a misunderstanding.
Is that right? Pray tell, explain it to me, Hedgie.
It was wrong to incarcerate a bee stinger. The family comes first. That's what I was always told.
That's accurate. The other thing you were always told was stay the fuck out of Waterdeep, weren't you?
Oh, I didn't go to Waterdeep. My sister, never mind, I'm not going to lie.
No, I don't think you are.
No, I can't do it. I cannot do it. I can lie to anybody else, but I just want to be with my sister, and I need her to be underparent of the Rock of Brawl.
If you think these waterworks are going to sway me, you're wrong.
Oh.
This is one too many times. You know what this means?
No. No. Give me another chance. Just one more chance. I'll get it right next time. I promise. I'll get it right next time. I'm sorry. I don't know how this got out of hand. I just thought a simple transaction of guns would not go this horribly wrong. What have I become? I become a monster.
Oh, God, sweetheart. No, you're not a monster. She gathers Hegemon into a big hug. Like, you're not a monster. You've never been a monster. You're just kind of an idiot. And you are going to stay on the rock. Do you understand?
Okay. Can I go home now?
Yes, and you're going to stay there.
I
don't want to hear your name for at least another 50 years. You understand?
Can I take my sister?
Yes, you can take your sister.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mama Bee Stinger.
Bye-bye.
And he bows and nods, and he backs up. And then he goes over to his frozen sister, and as soon as he touches her, the time stop ends for everybody. And everything starts to happen again. And Harsha is surprised when she sees her brother. And the first thing she does is she punches him in the nose.
Oh, they're fighting.
Rosie's like, no, stop.
What took you so long? You stupid albino rat. And Hegemon's like, I wanted to rescue you. I had to plan everything, and I had to settle up with Argus and make sure that we had all the resources necessary. And she said, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear another word. I have picked carrots and cabbage and corn, and I shucked corn. You know how hard shucking corn is, you little fucker?
Strix from the top says, that actually kind of sounds nice and idyllic.
Anyway, they have a little brother-sister spat before Hegemon suggests that they teleport away. But he can't do that till next round. And she just says, some wizard you are.
Just stop time.
And that brings us to Diath.
What's happening?
You see a brother-sister attacking each other.
Yeah, that's Diath saying this out loud to Rosie
Okay.
and everyone else. Like, what's happening? I'd be cool with this.
It's managed.
And there's like a certain piercing sternness in Rosie's voice that even Diath's just like, yes, ma'am.
At this point in time, Warrington comes over with his tiny musket and stands next to the sergeant and says, the sergeant's unconscious and fuming, says, Sergeant, this is no time to be lying down on the job. Get up! Get up, man! What are you doing just loafing around when there's business and mission to accomplish here? Get up! And at this point in time, something happens and you awaken. Warrington is yelling in your ear, get up!
He's a 4th edition warlord. I have no idea.
Pretty much.
Good gods, the mission!
And then he takes.
Is shattered. It's useless.
Yes. And he'll pull you up to your feet.
Commodore, I thank you to the depths of my heart. Hegemon, where is he?
He's right there.
Oh. I trundle over towards him and I try and pick him up.
Bah! Okay.
My good man, and I'm lifting him a clean 8 feet off the ground.
Put me down. Put me down, you oaf.
No, no. My mission is to keep you safe. And the last time I let you go, you wandered off. It's this or a leash, my good man.
You know, I think it's occurred to me maybe a new condition on your return to the rock. I think that these two should be your companions for a good long time, Hegemon.
Oh, yes.
What?
Hegemon, does this lady outrank you?
Nothing is going my way. This wasn't the plan. I'm sorry, I tried to blow you up.
Are you?
Yes.
Well, apology accepted, but you're
He's
still
lying. He already lied to me.
Yeah, he duped us. I've landed
All right,
at this point, and
okay.
I'm just like,
yeah, Strix, it
please
is your
leave.
turn.
Oh, I just want the mean lying wizard to leave.
Okay. If nothing else then transpires, he grabs hold of his sister, and then, only because Rosie Beestinger is watching him and has set upon him this condition, he holds a hand out to the GIF and says, We're heading back now to that place we can't talk about.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Take me by the hand, and we will go there forthwith via magic.
Wait, are you taking Warrington too?
He looks
Warrington,
at Rosie.
Warrington needs to go home.
Oh, yes, well, you know, I was to help you on this mission, but it turned out I was no help whatsoever. Until I've resolved that particular debt, I'd just as soon stay with you.
That sounds good to me.
Well, Ben,
Yes.
congratulations on fulfilling your mission. I'm sure the Major will be doubly impressed when you return.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
I'm gonna take off the bandolier of grenades and
Yes.
say,
No.
"You can't find gunpowder in this town," and toss them to Commodore Warrington Munt.
No.
And then I will stand over and I'm going to grab his sister and say, "Well, she punched you, sir. I will protect you from her." And then I will grab his hand.
Okay. Then the two GIF and the two halflings teleport away.
Wait, I need to tell you what Strix means!
It means anything. I think you're just mean. I just think you're mean, and I don't care.
All right. The guards already talked by Rosie into releasing their charge into her care. Watch as Harsha leaves and go back to the business of dealing with the other prisoners.
Rosie
And-
turns to Strix briefly and says, she like brushes some dust off of your robe.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And she says quietly, just so you can hear, she's like, you never write.
I know. I'm sorry. I meant to. You know, I just have so much to tell you, and then I just get scared, and you know, I'll do it. I promise.
Okay, sweetie. And she looks at Diath and she goes, I like him.
I'm sorry.
and then walks away.
And then Rosie's gone.
Wait, no, but Grandma, wait.
Yeah, there's just like this summer wind, and then you turn and Rosie's gone.
Exactly.
And yes. And at that point in time,
Oh, she's gone.
She actually left.
Totally, yes. At that point in time, Diath, the guard on horseback comes over to you, and she says, well, I don't know what all of that was about, and I haven't pieced together all of the information yet. But you, sir, are a very brave man.
Wow. Or stupid.
We'll let time decide that one.
Strix goes, I'm definitely stupid.
Diaz just tries to take a moment to explain everything that actually happened.
Right,
And
yeah.
apologize profusely on his own and on behalf of the City Watch.
She says, so what is this brawl that they were speaking of?
I have no idea.
Can I like Arcana check that or something?
No, it's not an arcane thing. It's
Oh.
just you'd have to know of it or had to have been there.
Well, I don't like not knowing something, so now I know that I don't know and I'm mad.
So it's just you and Warrington and Diath standing amidst this prison camp. And Warrington says, with his little musket, well, tucks it in his belt. I believe we have done a great service here for someone. I'm not sure who or what. But it was delightful to see some old friends. I don't think we've seen the last of them.
Oh, Warrington, what's the Rock of Brawl? You'll know.
Yes, well, let us talk about that over pie, shall we?
Great.
Yeah.
We're
Nice.
never going to know.
Is there any other thing you'd like to know? About a certain meaning of a certain name?
Oh, yeah, what does Strix mean, Warrington? Is that for, like, is this a joke or do it mean like butt or like what is it?
The three of you are having this conversation as you're walking out, and he sort of puts his big arms around you both and just sort of walks you out with his
Am
arms.
I a butt?
No! No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, well, it's a naval term that we GIF use. It's not very flattering. I don't want to burden you.
No, but no, I don't mind being burdened. That's pretty much all my life.
It's
is.
well, since you asked so nicely, I will tell you, but don't hold it against me. It's an old term, you understand. It's been in GIF naval tradition for a number of years. Well, you know, I didn't know what a Strix could be before I met you. There could be something other than the space barnacles that grow on the underside of some ships.
I mean, they're resilient, surviving creatures in space. That's not offensive.
Okay, if you say so.
They also might cling on and might be annoying.
They are very clingy and annoying.
Oh, no. Oh, no, it is me. She just, like, pulls her ropes closer, just gets quiet.
No, Strix.
That's
Just a silly gift thing. Don't worry about it.
all right. And you make your way back to the city, and that's where we'll stop.
As an Iris like closes in on the
Yes.
group walk.
Right.
Exactly. Yes.
And
Yes.
Evil and Impulton are back at the house, like, where did they go?
This big plume of smoke rising from outside the city.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Corporal, mission accomplished.
Yes, I love it when a plan comes together.
And my good man, I will not forget the way that you and the Commodore saved my life. I consider that debt repaid.
Yes, yes, indeed. Well, I am grateful to you always, sir. You are my commander. And I imagine we're sitting on the bee stingers so that they don't get away from us.
Indeed, indeed. All right. So as we wrap up this session and we say goodbye to 2018, I want to thank all the fans for sticking it out so far this season. We've got a bunch more episodes in Season 4 coming at you in 2019. A lot of wacky hijinks with lots of fun guest stars to sprinkle about. And any final or parting announcements? Let me say, first of all, thank you very much to our guests, joining a long, distinguished rogues gallery of guests, James and Joey.
And you survived, so.
We survived.
Yes, yes,
By the
and
skin of my teeth.
yeah, indeed, indeed. And of course, to the incomparable Kate Welch for gracing our show with Rosie Bee Stinger's presence.
Yes. Thank you, Kate. And Grandma.
Absolutely. Can't have a Bee Stinger episode without head Bee Stinger. And we'll probably learn more about Bee Stingers as next year unfolds.
Oh, man.
So any announcements that anybody wants to share before we part ways?
I just wanted to thank Ayada for sending me this Ferdinand, a little owlbear stuff.
Oh my gosh!
Cute.
Oh,
He's
so
got
cute!
little arms and everything. So now Jenks's owlbear is real. So thank you, Ayada. It's wonderful. It's got little like wiggly legs, so it's very cute. So I just love, and I love all of the fan art and all of the art you guys make. It's amazing. We all love seeing it so much. It's the present that keeps on giving.
I just want to say that I have a show, streaming show where I'm the DM, and it's hosted on the D&D Twitch channel on Tuesdays. It's at 10 a.m. Pacific. So if you want to start your day with some D&D and then you can end it with some dice camera action, it's called The Demon Plague, and it's based on a level 1 through 20 adventure that I wrote that is also available for sale. So by the same name, The Demon Plague.
Where is it available for sale?
On DriveThruRPG and at roleplayingtips.com/Demon Plague. So yeah, if you just search for The Demon Plague, it's there. And then Joey and I have a Waterdeep-esque collaboration coming that will be on the DM's Guild soon.
Yes, we just wrapped up those manuscripts, so you'll see them very shortly.
And for those who don't know, Joey and James were my co-conspirators on Waterdeep Dragon Heist, so it was great having you guys together, contributing to the story in a very oblique way.
They wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, that's right. You were wonderful. I was just like enjoying watching all three of you just banter together. I'm just sitting here enjoying it. Like, this is great. Just keep going.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank all of you for having me on. It was an absolute delight being here. And if James did it, I can do it too. I should plug the D&D show that I DM. It is not streamed even a little bit. It is on YouTube only. It is edited, and it is called Worlds Apart, youtube.com/Worlds Apart. And it's in my home campaign setting. And it's not related to any sort of product, so I won't ask you to buy anything, but just come watch the show. See more my hijinks.
Yes.
It is a really awesome show with a really great hook. So people should check it out. And also I do a bunch of podcasts at don'tsplitthepodcastnetwork.com. So now I'm done.
Awesome. All right. Jared, D&D December is
all this month.
Yes. Thank you.
People have been sharing prompts. I've been seeing a lot of cool stuff in the hashtag and fan art and the things. So if you do anything D&D related with December, just use that hashtag D&December. And since it will be the final time we can do it for 2018, we have a subreddit.
We do. Lots of cool art.
And for one last time, 2018 style.
There it is.
Spam that link.
Yes. Very good. Very good. Awesome. Yeah. So our first game back in the new year is currently scheduled to be, unless something changes or something comes up, January 8th. So we'll be back for episode 123 then. Until then, have a great break. If you celebrate the holidays, I hope they're fabulous and safe, and you get, lots of time to spend with the people that you enjoy most. All right, and take care of each other, and until we meet again, sayonara.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care of yourself.